everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. All right, tonight we are trying something. It's our free week. We are doing something just because. So I am going to try and do a punch needle version of our little tulip embroidery pattern here. And I already have a bit of it prepped. So I'll talk about that in a sec here and we will get started. So thanks again for joining me. I see you popping in. All right, let's get going. Okay, so here we are tonight. Hello everyone. So we are going to try doing some punch needles. So that is with this little tool here. This is like rug tufting. That's what it's kind of been called before too. Oh, let's see the nails. I know they're looking so good. I just love them. They're looking like just little like candies. So I did actually chip this one a little bit. So I'm kind of waiting to see where that one leads. We'll see. But yeah, so I have my design traced here. So I'll kind of walk you through this. So I have my embroidery pattern, and I just kind of printed this out. I think I printed it out at like 600 or 700%. So tiled it on a piece of paper, or several pieces of paper, and I taped it to the back. Oh, actually, I pinned it to the back, so I can take that off now. I'll show you guys that. So I did just printed it out on a bunch of sheets, and then I traced it. So tracing it was relatively easy. I just held it up to a window and traced right onto it. And oh, you missed. Oh, there we go. Oh, I posted a video of the results today. So of my nails. So the nails, that's like my latest post on here is my results of the nails. Some people are asking. Yes, this is a big canvas. So I think this is like a 24-inch quilting hoop. So I just had a few of these. You can get them from Joann's and stuff. Yeah, so it's a quilting hoop, and I printed this out, I think at like 600%, tiled it, and just made it so I could trace it. I had to put like the little areas where they cross in Sharpie, so I did that. And then what I did is I put some monk's cloth into a hoop. So this is monk's cloth, MONKS cloth. You can get it at Joann's. I think rug makers use a version of this, but it's kind of different. But I tried this once before, and it did work with just the monk's cloth you could get from Joann's. And you can see it has kind of like the crisscrosses that cross-stitch fabric has, and that's kind of what we're going for. We're going to punch in each of these holes, and because we're going to punch so many things, it's going to kind of hold it together. So that's what the tool and this fabric is going to do. So I'm going to flip it around, and there we have the pattern. So like I said, I pinned my paper pattern to here, and then I held it up to a window, and then I just took a Sharpie and traced it. So this is actually reversed as well, you might notice, because we're going to actually be working on the back here, and the front will be this way and will not be reversed. And you can't see any of those lines on the front, and it's going to have so much fluff and everything on it too. So I'm going to use yarn that I've already had. That was a bit of a challenge. I've been kind of in the process of using up all of my old shenanigans, all my old stuff. So I had to dig into the archive of all of my big bin of yarn. So I think we're going to do outlines and then fill this all in. So here is, I think this is going to be the pink for this tulip, and then I'm going to outline it in the red. And then I'm going to have this as a red tulip, and I'm going to outline it in like this burgundy here. And then I have green. I have a lot more of this color green. I used to actually make like little kid teddy bears, like baby bears out of these colors, so I actually have a lot of this, so it'll be good to use up. This will be the outline of the green for all of the greenery, like the leaves and the stems and stuff. And then this guy up here will be kind of this, I don't know, orangey bit with this orange border. So this is the palette here, and again, it's just because this is what I had. I think it'd be fun to really play with palette, but I think for this case we're gonna just go with this. So I think I'm gonna start with this big tulip over here, just because it's kind of the main tulip. And I think I'm going to start with the outlines as well. Oh, Paula said, oh, in my mind, you were doing a needle punch, the little ones. Yeah, nope, I'm doing a super mega giant one. It looked like fun. And I think I might actually try and do two bits of the yarn as well. So I think I might do like the part coming out of the center and the part coming out of the side, if I can find it. There we go. So I think I might do two. Do you think that can fit through here? So I have not done this in like a year, so that'll be fun. What is the fabric I'm using? This is Monk's cloth, so MONKS cloth. I think it's the right stuff. I'm totally new at this, so that's just kind of what was at Joann's for this. But I think there's various things you can use, but this worked for me in the past, so I think it'll work now. So, all right, we're going to attempt to do this. Like I said, I haven't done this in ages. So I have this tool. This is a punch needle. This is a bigger one that you can put yarn through. It's some generic brand. It's SKC punch needle. Here's like the punch needle that I'm using. It's kind of like a big one. It can fit yarn through, and it comes with a little needle threader. So what we want to do is this giant needle threader, we're going to thread that all the way up through this. Oh my god, it barely can hold. Oh, here, let's make this. Oh, I guess I can't make it smaller, really. It travels with. So I guess let's just see if I can get this thread through. So if I remember correctly, oh wait, I gotta go this way. If I remember correctly, I think the yarn's got to fit in here comfortably, so I don't know if I'll be able to use two. But I thought I just, like, by using two, I could get, like, double thickness right away. Oh, your needle threader would help. Yeah, this is a giant needle threader. So, all right, I'm going to stick the yarn through there. The giant needle threader. We're going to attempt it with two. I'll show you how to do it first, and we'll test some different heights, and then I'll pull it out. This is what's nice about punch needle is it comes out really, really easily. Came in late. Is this punch needle embroidery like, oh, Pretty Punch? I don't know what Pretty Punch is, but it is punch needle. I think of it, I mean, it is advertised as embroidery sometimes. I haven't tried it like that. To me, in my head, it's more like rug making, like rug tufting. All right, so we've pulled it through, and now we have to actually also pull it through the tiny hole in there yet. Oh, Kev says, I love punch needle. So I'm super excited. I've only done a large thing like this once, and it was only like this big. So this will be interesting, but I'm just like, oh, this tulip would be so fun. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet either. It might either be a pillow or like even just like a weird wall hanging. I thought would be kind of cool. All right. So we're now through that hole and through the tube and through the hole. And I think, if I remember right, we want a lot of slack here because we don't want this to just have any tension, because any tension is going to pull it right out, and I'll show you that in a sec. And I suspect we need a longer bit. So the amount that you push through is going to be half the amount of the loop. So I think I want a little bit longer. Let's try it. This particular one is adjustable. Not all of them are adjustable. Just reading some of you guys' comments. Oh yeah, you can definitely do this with yarn. That's kind of what rugs are made out of. tufting gun. So I don't know if you guys have seen like a tufting gun. There's like artists that make rugs and stuff out of that, and they're using yarn. I think they might be using like a wool, maybe it's like an acrylic rug yarn. I'm not sure, but I think you can use just whatever you got. So that's what we're going to attempt. I think the biggest thing is the fabric. This is monk's cloth, so it has kind of like little holes almost laid out in it. All right, you guys, it's been a while, so I'm not, this is making me a little bit nervous, but let's just give it a try. So I'm going to punch, let's just punch a few things here. I know you can take it out right away, so we'll do a few. I'm on like size B, whatever that is. It looks like about maybe 1.5 inches, so we'll see how that goes. So you do want to lead with the open side. It's kind of like got this cut open part. I think you want to lead. You always want to be going in that direction. So let's just try. So I'm going to go in, like I said, it's been a while. Sammy says they leave theirs in their hoop and hang them up. Oh, that's a cute idea. I think one strand will be better from your experience. Okay, so I kind of want to give that a test, Amy. Amy says, I think one strand would be better from my experience. I'm kind of hoping to get more done quickly. I know with the big rug hooking stuff, they can do several at once. So I have no idea if this is working yet. Oh, I might not be doing something right here. Ooh, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to have to do one because this needs to go, like flow easily through this, and it is pretty stuck. So I'm going to just pull one of these out. Hopefully I kept the center pull one, which would be good. All right, we're going to try this with one. It's been a while, but I'm excited to give this a go again. I don't know what brought this up. We were talking about punch needle the other day or something, and I think it was just fun. And we came up with this idea. All right, let's try this again. So now I'm going with the 1. All right, now it feels like it's staying. Okay, so this is all it is. I'm going to do a few here, and then I'll show you kind of what's happening here. I am just, you can kind of see some little holes in this monk's cloth, and the thread moves out of the way easily. So that's what makes this work. All right, let's just peek at the other side. So I'm going to pull this out, but I just want to do this as a test. All right, so this is what it looks like from the front. And this is actually kind of this is a nice little height to the pile here. I don't know if you guys can see. So it's going to look crazy, but what's going to make this really work is all of the thread kind of mashing up together and like pushing on each other. I think I can even go a little bit closer together on this, but I think this is a decent height. It looks fluffy and pretty, and I want some like fluff to it. Oh, sorry, whacked you guys. All right, so the neat thing about punch needle is you can just pull it all out right away. So just zoop, there, I pulled it completely out. So if you make a mistake, you can just take it out really, really easily. But that also means that it's easy to come out. So you have to be careful to not accidentally pull your thread too much, and you need like a lot of slack in the yarn. So that's the deal. So I gotta be aware of that. But okay, so I think let's just try and outlining all of these shapes and see how that goes. And I'm gonna I'll grab a scissors and have that nearby, because I think when we're done, we just snip it and then move on to the next area. I think that's all there is to it. So let's give it a go again. I'm gonna try going a little closer together, and we'll see how that goes. Oh, Sammy says my first punch needle video is how I found the channel. Yeah, so I have that piece here. So that's this one here. So this I actually did with an embroidery floss, the Make It 80% Good. So this was on like a denim fabric. You need like kind of a hefty fabric for the little punch needle, or like a canvas or this monk's cloth. So I want like all these little poofs. So we're gonna give this, that's the attempt here. So let's just do this outline. I'd love to get the outline of this flower and then be able to start filling it in with the red, which I don't know where that went, but the red tonight as well. So let's see how this goes. So we are just gonna do every little bit, like I'm making one a little close, so every, like, I don't know, 1/8 inch or so, I'm going back in, and it's feeding through the top of this like punch needle pen, and I just got to make sure that everything's just loose and chill here, and I'm kind of trusting that it's happening on the back. Ooh, I kind of wonder if people who do this a lot, like, if they put like a mirror behind them, that'd be kind of smart, or just like some sort of thing to see, so they can see the front. But if you look on the back, so I'm working from the back to the front, the back looks like a little back stitch, even though it's not structured like a back stitch. You know, like I said, this will just pull out if you pull on it, and that is not like real embroidery. So when we're done with this, like completely done, I'm gonna put glue on this back to hold all of this in place. All right, I'm to that top, and so now I'm going to rotate the pen because I want to lead with that opening, that cross cut, that angle, and I can already feel, I'm gonna need to get more yarn out of here. Amy says you get a feel for it when it goes astray. That's good to know. But yeah, so I'm just kind of dragging and punching. So this is putting a little bit of yarn on the other side, and it's the tension of the fabric that's holding it in place. And I'm also not cutting the fabric. So cutting the fabric is what would happen if you would use like quilting weight fabric or something. So that's why I need to use this monk's cloth, because the fibers just kind of move out of the way, which is good because they want to go back, and that's what helps hold the thread in. So we're going to just do a basic outline. Like, I could get fancy with this, like parts of the outline could be thicker than other parts, but we're going to keep it simple. I'm going to do this one little outline, and we're going to fill this in. I'm going to do the whole outline of this flower though first. How did you get it so big? So I printed this from the PDF pattern. So this is from my embroidery pattern of the tulips. So over at Penguin and Fish, the tulip pattern. And I enlarged it on my printer, the reversed pattern. I enlarged it, I think, about 600%. So I think it's about a little over 18 inches. I think it maybe ended up being around 20 inches tall when I was done. And it fit on 4 pieces of paper that it printed out as, you know, tiled. And, oops, I can feel I need more slack here. And I just taped them together, and I showed it at the beginning. I'll have to show it again. I'll do a recap of this. But sorry, I'm in like full concentration mode and trying to talk and do this at the same time, so I might be a hair slow. But I printed it out at 600%, tiled it, and then taped it together, and then was able to pin it to the back of this monk's cloth. So I put the monk's cloth into my like quilting hoop, and then pinned the tiled pattern to it, and then just traced it with some permanent marker. And again, it's reversed, and I'm working on the reverse because I'm working from the back. So the front is what all these loops will be on, which we'll see, and hopefully it'll work out fine. I'm getting to the point where I'll be cutting this, and then we can take a peek at the front. I mean, it feels like it's working. This is not crochet. This is a punch needle, a peek of the front. There's a peek. I'll flip it around in a sec here. I'm almost done with this part of the outline before I have to start fresh from another part. So we'll cut the thread. All right, so I'm rotating the pen again. I'm calling it a pen, the needle. Let's call it a punch needle. I'm rotating it again so that bevel, that's the word, the bevel is going in the direction, the same direction that I am. All right, almost there. And I'm not pulling up too far because I don't want to pull that loop back. All right, let's get one more stuck in there. Okay, so now I'm going to get my scissors here quick. And we'll just trim left-handed. Okay, there we go. And I didn't want to get my, I did it, shoot. So now I need my needle threader again to get that yarn through that eye again. There. So this is ready for when we start up again, but let's peek. So on the back, I've got the outline started. So it looks nice and clean from the back because that's not where the loops are. It's gonna look crazy from the front, but it'll end up okay. So here's where we are at the front. It looks like a pile of crazy loops. But again, it's the tension of like all those loops next to each other, like so the rest of the yarn kind of pushing against it, that's going to clean this up. But we do have our general idea happening, and it's totally working. So I'm happy about that. It's been a long time since I've done this, and it's risen to the top again. That's what happens when a craft it sits in my brain for a while. Oh, and I whacked you guys again. It sits in my brain for a while, and then I just got to do it. So, all right, let's try, let's just finish this outline, and then I want to start filling it in with the other color. So I'm going to have to cut, we're going to do a little, it's just a bunch of little bits now. So we'll do those, and then I'll have to snip them each time, and then we'll start filling it in with the red. Ugh, I'm so excited for this project. So the side that I'm working on now, like I said, is the back. I will be putting glue on the back when I'm done, and that will hold all these loops in place, because these loops you can just pull out and they will all come out, which is scary. That's like a scary thing about punch needle. All right, let's trim that. Gosh, I'm going to do left-handed cutting all night. Actually, I'm wondering if I should trim these a little further up. I probably want to leave a little bit more slack because I don't want these to come out either. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to trim this one a little bit shorter. But yeah, I think I should be leaving a little bit more of a tail on this side, so I got to remember that. What will the finished product be? I'm not sure yet. So I think it's either going to be like a pillow. I think a pillow would be kind of fun of the tulip. Or it might just be like a wall hanging or some like goofy rug wall hanging thing, which I think would be fun. Oh, so I need to I wonder if I can do this without the needle threader. Yeah, that's way easier. Zoop, there we go. No needle threader for me. Yeah, so that's, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards pillow, but I do think it'd be really kind of fun just hanging up somewhere as like some rug art piece, like a pop art rug art piece would be kind of interesting. So we'll see. It's basically the same process until the end. That's when I would decide. I think if I did a pillow, I think I'd still have to put glue on the back. I don't know. I might have to do some research on that. Oh yeah, Amy's asking how do the stitches become permanent. I think it's the glue on the back. I've seen people do pillows and stuff out of this before. Do they put glue on the back? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some research, but all of that is at the end, anyway, like all the finishing stuff. For a rug, I would put like PVC glue, which is just like an Elmer's water-based kind of glue. Some like weird latex glue stuff, and I think I have some of that. I would just put some of that on the back, like really get it in there, and then trim it, and then you can kind of roll the edges and kind of put more yarn around the edges. So I'll probably have to put some, I think I might do like white around the outside of this too. I don't think I got any white. I didn't bring any white upstairs for my yarn stash. Ooh, I'm running out of yarn here again. Here we go. So I think I'll have to, because I need some sort of stitches to support the outline too. Because like I said, you want to cram in the stitches because they all hold each other up. Oh, you've never seen this before? Yeah, this is, I learned about this a couple of years ago, and we gave it a try. And it was just fun, but I haven't done it since. And, but I'm totally intrigued by people doing the, what is it called? I always forget. The rug tufting with those tufting guns. Oh my God. So this is maybe me trying to convince myself that I need one of those tufting guns. All right, so if I need some more slack, I can just, hold it down there. That's what I'm going to do from here on out. I can't just pull up, though, because it'll pull out all my loops, so I got to hold the thread there, and then I can pull it out. All right, last little, oh, I know, I got 2 lines left of this, but then that's it for this color, because I'm only using this for the outline. Oh, this is really relaxing already. It's kind of like cross-stitch, where you're just like going in one little space and then going to the next space. I mean, it's not really like that, but I'm getting the same feeling as that. Just like chill, one punch. I'm glad this is working though. I haven't done this this big with this quilting hoop before, but I think this is just totally gonna work. I'm excited. So if I was doing this as a pillow, I wouldn't roll the edges. I would just leave the edge and sew whatever I use for the back fabric to it, or if I did like a gusset or something, that would just make it thicker. Okay. Pull that out a little bit again. We will peek at this again in a sec. And this is going fast. I mean, we are going to fill in the whole thing, so that's going to take some time. Sorry if I'm missing the comments. Oh, you saw this a long time ago. Yeah, like it's very much like rug hooking. So rug hooking, a lot of times for that craft, they will, like in the traditional sense, I guess, in the modern traditional sense, so like how modern people do it now, but to make like the traditional like style of stuff, you would take like wool strips or other fabric strips, and it's a different tool, but it's close. So it's different than a rug hooking tool. I haven't done rug hooking before, but it's I think just a hair different, but it's basically the same concept. It's the same effect. Like you're pushing in that case a piece of fabric through, and you have this little folded piece of fabric on the other side, and you're basically doing the exact same thing, but you can do it with like larger, thicker pieces of wool. So the tool must be super similar, I would think, because the result is pretty similar. That'd be fun to look into. I haven't done that, but it's very similar. All right. Let's take a peek at the front again, and that's it for this outline. I'm done with that yarn. He can go back in the bin. Oops, dropped my needle threader, though. I'm going to need that. All right, so that's the back. So the back, again, looks like a nice little back stitch. And then the front, oh, it looks good so far. The front is going to look like the crazy bloopity bloops. So let's see. They are a good 1/2 inch tall right now. And you can see they're kind of sparse, like in places. But again, it will be shaped a little bit more by all the other yarn that will be around it. And with just this craft, you're not going to get like the crispest lines ever. It is going to be some abstraction, like it is going to be bold. Fun! Ugh! Okay, I love it so far. So let's get some red going. So I have a tiny bit of red. I actually have more, but I'm using up thread from my stash, and I have tiny little bits of balls of yarn that I can use up, and this is the same yarn here. So I got a ball ready to go, but this is an opportunity for me to use up my stash, which is awesome. Okay, so we are going to fill in this whole shape, and I think let's start with the littlest one just to give it a try. What would the best way be to do this? So we could go like around and around and around the shape, but in other rug hook, like when they use the tufting gun, they go like just straight lines a lot of the time, and I'm wondering if I should do something like that. Although it's easier with the punch needle to kind of go around and around, so I think I'm going to go around and around. Then I can get it right next to the outline right away. We'll see. We'll give it a try with this. It won't have the up and down shape. It will have a more morphed shape, but I think that's fine. Can you trim the front when it's done? You can. So with the punch needle, it ends up being loops. And I have a setting that's even bigger. So my pile, like the pile, the size of the loop, can be taller. And yes, you can take a scissors and trim the whole thing. So then it'll be like a shag rug instead of just a loopy rug. So I love that look. You can shave it off too. You can cut like each loop, which sounds like a pain, but you can also shave it with a fancy shaver. But if you have patience, you can totally do it with just like cutting each loop and then trimming it down. Ooh, you can even use a dog clippers. Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, so that'll make like the fluffy, just like a shag look. I'm sure it's called something other than that, versus the looped end look. So you totally can, and you can vary it. So part of your piece could be loopy, and part of your piece could be that shag look, and that would be just really cool too. Where did you get the punch needle from? I think I just got this from Amazon a zillion years ago. So here's and I think it's just some weird Amazon product too. So again, it's SKC punch needle set from wandaneedle.com. Oh, I know it's reversed here, but SKC punch needle. If I were to search for it, I would search for punch needle yarn adjustable, because mine is adjustable, so I can get different piles, different heights. So I think that would be a place to start. They do make little thin ones though too. Like this one here, this piece here was made, it's in reverse. It says 80% good. Make it 80% good, but this was done with embroidery floss, and this was with a smaller punch needle. What I'm doing now with the yarn is like a large yarn punch needle. I'm looking for my threader, but I think I can just, oh, it's right here. Okay, but I think I can just stick it through this hole again. Yeah, that's easier than threading the whole thing again. All right, let's do it. Oh, a wreath for the front door would be pretty. Amy said the nails look like they're holding up good. So far, so good. I do feel like I may have a tiny little chip in the one nail already, which kind of blows, but is still way an improvement on what I used to be doing. All right, so I'm filling in this littlest space, and I'm just going in the holes that are right next to my outline. And I'm just going to go around and around. And the nice thing is that if I need to jam more stitches in there, I always can. Like I can just push more stitches in there, and it'll push the other loops out of the way, and we'll be good to go. Theoretically. We'll see how this goes. So this is a punch needle, and it is a like a yarn, I don't know what I would call it, like a large yarn punch needle. They come in different sizes, but this one's large enough that I can put actual yarn through. Oh, and I'm running out of thread here. Let's get some more slack. The slack is important because, like I said, you can just pull these out. These are just loops stuck in here, being held by their own tension of the other loops sitting next to them, squishing up next to them. So if I pull on them, they'll all just come out. Like, easier than taking like a piece of crochet out. It'll just all come out. Alright, gosh, I think we're almost done with this. I suspect I might need more stitches in here, but let's just take a peek. This is kind of like our test one. I think one more. Alright, let's pop that out. Take a look at the front again. It is kind of interesting, like weird working on the back. Oh, it's cool. Okay, so here we are. So we definitely crowded in the stitches. I think it's looking kind of nice. So yeah, that's totally holding together. So all of those loops are pushing out and pushing on the other loops, so all of them are holding each other together, and that's why I think I need to do an outside. So I'll probably do like a white, just like white yarn around the whole thing, and that will push the outlines in too, so that will give the outlines a nice little bit as well. But hey, this is totally freaking working. I am stoked. What am I making? I am not quite sure yet. Either a pillow or, oh shoot, I just pulled this whole thing out. A pillow or a kind of a wall hanging art piece. Now I'm kind of leaning towards that. I have a lot of pillows. It'd be fun to put like a goofy little thing like this on the wall. So basically a rug. I mean, ultimately it's a rug. And then just if I want to sew that rug into a pillow, or do I want to sew that rug, well, just finish the edge and hang it up. And I kind of am leaning towards that because I think it'd be kind of fun. It'd be fun to just use it as a rug too, but I don't know where I'd put it, and I'd be sad to step on it. All right, I need to use the threader. I need the yarn to go through the tube and then through the little needle hole on that they cut out of that bevel of the tube. You could totally make one of these, I'm thinking. It's just like a tube that's cut at like, I don't know, 60 degrees or something, and then a hole drilled into it. All right, let's fill... I don't know, should we do all the... Let's do all the... I mean, I don't know, let's go... I was going to say, let's fill the little spaces, but now I'm just like, let's just go left to right and get her all done. And I think we'll be out of this yarn soon. And this yarn theoretically is the same, although it is looking a little different. Just a tiny hair different. It's close enough. So maybe let's just do this second smallest one. And then not use this yarn anymore. And then the other ones will be with the other yarn. I'm using yarn from my stash. What type of fabric am I using? This is Monk's cloth, so MONKS cloth, and it's just from this. The stuff that I have here is just from Joann's. I know like the pro rug tufting. Yeah, I feel like I get that phrase wrong whenever I say it. Rug tufting, right? Yeah. Oh, you did lots of punch-up embroidery. But yeah, so I think the real like rug tufting people with their tufting guns and stuff, I think they're using something else. I know they're using a Monk's cloth, but I think it might be just made a hair different than this. But this is still working for just like me doing it here. It still seems to be working exactly how it's intended. Maybe they're just using like stiffer stuff. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to research that a little bit more. But what I'm using is Monk's cloth, and why it's sort of important. I think the fabric's probably the most important part of this, because you need like with the monk's cloth, it has like a really big weave, and it can, the stitches can kind of, the fabric threads can move out of the way for the stitch, but then they kind of want to go back. And that's what's, that and like all the stitches next to each other is what's holding these stitches in place. If you use just a normal, like a normal cotton, like a woven cotton, you risk cutting the actual threads. Like when you pierce it with this needle, you risk cutting it. And that will just, you know, it's just breaking at that point, your fabric, and that's going to cause damage. So that's why the monk's cloth. On that smaller piece, I did it with jean fabric because I didn't have quite the right stuff for that. But with like the smaller pieces, you want something just super sturdy, like a canvas, something hefty, so your threads aren't gonna break. I think we might have just enough thread for this one. You can use interfacing on the back of loose fabrics. Oh, that's interesting. Where did I get the needles? I think I just got this from Amazon. And it's some generic brand. Just, I would look for a punch needle, and you're going to want one that can be used with yarn. So this has a pretty big tube. I would say maybe a 1/4 inch tube. I don't know if they'd say that in the description. A 1/4 inch diameter. Big enough that it can fit yarn in it. The other one that I have is much smaller. It can only fit like embroidery floss in it. But I love it for just to use my excess embroidery floss. It's really fun to do projects with. All right. If you have tension on this too, your loops on the front won't be the right size because it's just going to want to pull to the back if there's any tension. So you always need that thread kind of super loose. Oh, and the other thing, there is that bevel, like that angle cut out of the needle. It's more like a tube, but you know, it's called a needle. You always want the opening of that bevel to be facing the direction that you're stitching. So I'm rotating it every time I change angles. Oh, Christine says, tulips are my favorite flowers. The pattern looks amazing. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, this is our embroidery pattern. So this is that tiny, tiny 4-inch embroidery pattern. I'll have to show that again when we flip this around. I think this is 600% bigger, and I enlarged it on our photocopier here. Oh my god, I'm going to have just enough thread, just enough yarn. I enlarged it with the printer, and yeah, I think it ended up being 600% to get it this big, and I think it's about 20 inches tall now. All right, we might have a hair extra. So a few more stitches, like 2 more. All right, let's flip this around and see. So I'm just gonna hold it there. Trim. So this is the back. I don't care if there's all these little ends. Those will all get trimmed and glued down later. Ah, it's so fun. Ah, okay, so it's totally working. That is plenty of stitches. I don't think I need to put more, so I don't think I need to, like I was worried that I didn't have enough. Here it is so far. I was worried I didn't have enough to, like I thought you'd see a little bit of a gap, but you can't. This is plenty good. And once I get, like I said, the white on the outside, that will push my outlines nicely together. Yay, this is fabulous. All right, I am not going to use that tiny piece of red anymore. I am going to start this second skein here. Like I said, I'm using using yarn from my stash. So these colors are just what I had. soon one of these days I'll use up all of my yarn and then I'll buy more yarn in the actual colors that would be fun and that I want. But for now we're using up what I have and trying to get creative with what I got. Use up all the things. So we'll work on this tomorrow as well. I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I think this is too fuzzy. I need to use the needle threader again. So we'll work on this tomorrow for sure. We might do some tatting on Friday because apparently it is like World Tatting Day or something on Friday. Which is funny. So we might do that. Okay. Now I'm going to go from like left to right and we'll just see how this goes. So we'll be here for about, 15 more minutes or so. It'd be awesome to get this tulip done. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do this Friday too. It's something, it'll take a little while, but it won't take forever, I don't think. So it'd be fun to just keep working on it at some point. We have a pretty planned out schedule for the beginning of the months, so this is kind of relegated to the last full week of each month. So it might just have to sit around till then, but we'll see. So I'm trying to get in as many of these holes as I can. Oh, we're getting tangled up here. Weekend marathon, Amy says. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But it would be fun. Like I'm just totally in get all the things done mode, even though I'm totally starting another project, starting this project tonight. But it's getting in a mental idea out of the way, right? So this is sitting in my head and it had to come out. So maybe I'll pop in on the weekend and work on some projects. We'll see. Ooh, and you guys, we have a new embroidery of the month on Friday, because it's April on Friday, which is crazy. We are like, it's going to be freaking summer soon, which would be awesome. It snowed today again. It sleet snowed, and actually, like, it ice snowed today is probably more accurate, and I think it was caking ice on all of the trees. And then that ice was falling from the trees. So, like, our neighbor's tree, I think the wind was blowing ice from our neighbor's tree onto our house, like, all day. It just sounded like a loud hail sleet storm. But I think it was just the ice blowing from our neighbor's tree, which is crazy. So, unpleasant today. Super gloomy. Stayed inside all day, which stinks. Didn't go for my 4 o'clock walk like I should have, but it was gross out and probably super slippery too. I don't know. I'm making excuses. Alright. Couple little more rounds on this one. Do you shear the front? You can. So you can shear the front to give it like a shag rug look, or you can leave it as the loops. I'll probably just leave it as the loops because then I can call it done. But you can do either. And when they're doing this with a tufting gun instead of like by hand like this, a lot of those you can choose between whether it's loops or the shag or the cut. I think it's just called cut. the cut style or the loop style. And some tufting guns do both, I think. All right, I'm kind of curious. There's like some gaps here. I'm kind of curious if I need more in those spots, and if not, that's great. So I think because of time, I might just hop over to the next smallest little areas versus that middle one. Ugh, this is just turning out like exactly how I hoped it would. It is like just a poofy little rug there. So this is the front. I've been working from the back. So back to the front. Yeah, oh, it's called looped or cut pile. Oh, perfect. Yes, so you can shear it to do the cut pile. You could cut into every single loop. I have seen people do that before when they're doing this by hand. But yes, so you can make a cut pile like that. But I think I'm just going to leave it the loop pile. I think it's just looking so cute. Again, it's about a half inch or so a tall pile. But this is working great. I was a little nervous about how this would go tonight just because I haven't done this in ages, but it's working perfectly. So I'm going to do these two small leafy areas. Not leafy, this is just another petal. I'm going to do that little area there. And then we'll probably call it for the night. So tomorrow I'll do this little area. I would love to get the flower bits done, and then we just have like all the greenery. Or maybe we do the outlines. Nah, I think I'm going to do it section by section. I think that's working nicely. I mean, we could do like the extra little bits. Like we could do this little piece of leaf up there, but I think let's do the flowers first because that's the most fun. All right. I'm just going to fill in these other small areas. Yeah, and I think that's probably what we'll get done tonight. But this is working great. I'm super excited about how this is going. I'm wanting to be at that stage where I can put the glue on the back and like hang it on the wall. So I think that's fun. But yeah, no disasters yet. It seems to be holding up just fine. I haven't pulled out a bunch of stitches yet, so I'm in it. It's been a while, like I said, probably a year and a half or so since I've tried this, and I've only done it like twice. And this is the biggest thing I've done for sure. I would love to get a tufting gun though. It would be just so fun. Like make a huge frame to put the fabric on and then just use the tufting gun to just draw with yarn all day. What fun would that be? Oh, and a hoop stand. Yeah, hoop stand. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, because this is kind of annoying. I'm definitely leaning on the table here. I think if I did a tufting gun, people make whole big like 8-foot by 8-foot frames. Oh, I need more yarn when they're doing that. But how would I do that? I'd have to get a big stool to get up that high. But there's so many cool artists that do tufting. I just love it. Oh, you do pet. Oh my gosh, you do pet portraits with a tufting gun. Ugh, love that so much. That just sounds so exciting. I don't know, tufting gun. That's gonna boil to the top one of these days. I feel like. All right, I probably could have just gone to that next area, but we'll start and stop with each area. All right, I'm not going to peek yet. I'm going to finish this this next one, and then we'll peek again. So tomorrow we'll do this big section. That'll take a little time. And then red was going to be the outline for this, so then I'm done with the red at that point. So we'll try and do that tomorrow too, the outline for this second flower. That one's going to be pink on the inside. But yeah, then I'll be done with the red for the piece. Already done with this dark burgundy. This is the only place I'm using that color. Oh, Amy says you could do Chad Kitty. Oh, I'd love to do a punch needle of Chad Kitty. Chad's my parents' kitty cat. Ugh. We'll see. We'll see if this sticks. That's kind of what I wanted to give this a try. I've just been like loving those large, like kind of punch, or the needle tufting punch needle stuff. And we'll see if I want to do more of this. Maybe one of those is in the future. What is the name of the tool that I'm using? This is a punch needle. So this punch needle is large enough to hold yarn, and it's also adjustable. It's some generic weird brand. It's called SKC, and I think there was a reason I got it. I think it was because of the adjustableness. I wanted to be able to adjust the pile height of the yarn. So I think when I was searching, I'm sure it was just on Amazon. Maybe it was from Etsy though, actually. But I would search for adjustable punch needle yarn and see what comes up. Because they make them smaller, like with small tubes. Like if this is a tube, they make it smaller so that just like embroidery thread can go through, and this is definitely larger than that. And then they make them not adjustable, which is totally fine. I mean, there's very popular ones. Or there's a brand that I know is popular for this, but I can't remember what it is. But they're not adjustable, so I don't know. For some reason, when I was looking for an adjustable one. So this one changes the height of the tube. So it's this tube height, this needle part height. It literally is just like a copper tube or something. But that height determines the height of the pile. So like half this size, or just like a little less than half of this size, is the height of the pile. Gotcha. It's actually more about a third of this size. All right, let's see what we got here. And then I think we'll call it an evening. Ugh, it is looking so good. Okay, I love it. Oh, this is going to be fun when I get the other colors and stuff in. Here, I'm going to show for the TikTok peeps. So that's it so far. This guy will be filled in with red yet. I think it's looking fabulous. Just what I was hoping it would look like. So we'll get that pink. So this is going to be the pink for the second tulip. Ugh, it's so pretty. All right, can you put a book or something under the top of the hoop so you don't have to hold it? Oh, I probably could. Yeah, maybe I'll work on like ergonomics of this over the next few days probably. But there we are. There's a close-up for you guys. I'm just so all of you know, I'm on a few different platforms right here, so I'm just showing like weird angles for a few. So this is the front, and just from the side again, you can see it's about like that half inch pile. Yeah, this is great. So we'll continue with this tomorrow. And just because I'm having like a ton of fun with this, we might just end up doing this on Friday too. We got far in one day, and I didn't get going right away. So I think we can finish this tulip and a whole nother tulip tomorrow. And then, man, if we do this on Friday, we might be able to get a lot of the stems and everything done too. Oh, Catherine says, I can't wait to try this. Making the pattern big might be challenging. So that's what I was most nervous. Here's the pattern again. So that's what I was most nervous about for this. And where did that? Oh yeah, here. So this is from my Tulip embroidery pattern. So this is what we're going for, the Tulip embroidery pattern, and this is a PDF for the embroidery pattern. And I blew it up on my printer. So you might have to Google how to enlarge on your printer, your particular printer. But I think I did it about 600%. And then I printed it out as tiles. And when you blew it up, then the lines got bigger too, which is nice. So then I put this on I put it in the hoop, the fabric in the hoop, and then I pinned it. I just pinned it in the corners on the flat part, and then when I flipped it, it was actually a lot easier to trace through than I thought. I did have to hold it up to a window though. So once I held it up to the window, then I was able to go over it with Sharpie. But luckily, you don't have to have it be perfect because you are going over with a very kind of bold line that's gonna be bigger than any like Sharpie line that you put on here. So that's how I transferred it. I was able to just hold it up to a window with the monk's cloth, which was fabulous because I was not quite positive how I was going to transfer it, so that worked well. Oh yeah, the smaller version is the Ultra Punch needle. Yeah, that's the one that I did with the small embroidery floss. All right, you guys. Oh yeah, the Oxford Punch needle. That's that brand that I was thinking of. That's pretty popular. So they make the ones that are larger. They don't look like this. They have like a nice wood handle, but they do make the larger ones that you can put yarn through. The Oxford Punch needle. But again, this one does the job, and it's adjustable too. The adjustable pile height, which I really like. So, it's so fun. I am really happy about this. All right, you guys. I think we'll call it a night there. So here it is to see from this angle. So this tulip's about as big as my head there. So I think, I don't know, I'm leaning towards wall hanging now. I will have to find some white yarn or some background color because I think we're going to want to do an edge around it just to hold in those outline stitches on the edge. Yeah, but we're not that close. We'll finish the motif first. So awesome, you guys. We'll be here again tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we'll continue with this. I'm in it. I love it. Let's keep going. So all right, have a lovely rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central. Good night. All right, thanks so much, guys. Good night.